Hey, this is Chest High Walls Gaming, and I'm here to bring you some gameplay footage of Fortnite, as well as my first impressions of the game. I've given this game hell in my last few videos, and many of you might be wondering if I'm actually enjoying the game. Well, truth be told, I honestly really am enjoying it. In fact, I'm having an absolute blast with the game whenever I get to play. I've put about 10 or so hours into the game, and I believe I have enough time into it to really give it a dependable first impression. For those of you who just want to know if it's good or not, it's definitely a great game. So go out and pick it up for the standard edition, because this is a hell of a value for $40, and I'm extremely critical of value for my money, so you can take that to the bank. The value in this game comes from the amount of content in it, and its sheer fun factor. Everything you do in this game is satisfying and rewarding. Even the loot system, which at first I disliked because of the money grab with the V-Bucks and the random loot boxes in the form of the piñatas. But you get enough piñatas and random loot boxes just from playing the game that I've found that not putting any money down on them has not hindered my progress in the least. In fact, it's made it more fun. The pacing feels just right without all the extra loot coming my way. It feels like the game was designed around not buying V-Bucks for the piñatas. The classes all feel fun and unique, but if I had to criticize the class system, it would be that the only two classes that are truly any useful in the early game is the Soldier and the Outlander. The Soldier is the best damage dealer, and the Outlander is the best gatherer. The Constructor's benefits don't feel necessary until the levels get more difficult, and I'll cover difficulty in a second. And the ninja's damage is good, but being up close to the enemies will get him into more trouble than a soldier would from a range. Although that double jump is truly useful. The weapons in the game all feel amazing to use, and you'll be getting new ones constantly. One of the biggest reasons the weapons all feel satisfying to use is the absolutely impeccable sound design. Damn, Epic Games knows their sound design. Every shot is bombastic and impactful, making the game truly fun to play. The gunplay is absolutely top-notch, which is to be expected from the masters of the third-person action games. One glaring omission from the game, which baffles me, is that there is no crouch button, and no dodge roll. The masters of the dodge roll in the Gears series making a third-person game without a dodge roll feels bizarre, and it feels like it would truly have a place in this game. Maybe a little later down the line they might add it. You really can't talk about this game's gameplay though without bringing up the building. The building feels simple but robust at the same time. It's simple to get the basics of building forts down. Walls, floors, ceilings, all feel easy to put down in a hurry, and it's all seamless with the combat. If you really want to get creative, you can also take chunks out of the walls or floors in the edit mode, which means you can make your forts look pretty good. Though many of the wall designs are for style over function, such as the arch wall. The traps that you can put down are probably the least useful of the gameplay features in the game thus far. With the game's difficulty, which again I'll get to next, the traps feel very redundant. Every problem in this game can pretty much be solved through hitting it or shooting it. The traps kind of feel useless. I've experimented a bit with them and found better uses than many others have had, although I can't ignore the fact that just shooting the enemies would have worked just as well. I have a strong feeling that they will become much more necessary very soon though when things get tougher. Now for the difficulty. Okay, this is my biggest gripe. I'm one who enjoys a challenge, and it feels satisfying when confronting and succeeding against a difficult one. This game is too easy, pure and simple. I give the game's pacing props for the drip feed of features and equipment. It feels perfectly satisfying in that regard, and I think that's what keeps me interested. But the game would be infinitely more enjoyable to me if I was challenged in it a bit more. I've played this game for about 12 hours now in total, and I have not died one time. Even more, I have not even seen another player die either. In 12 hours of play. I don't even know what happens when you die in this game. I really couldn't tell you. I'm fully aware that the difficulty is due to spike drastically any minute now when going into the next city area. But even if the very next mission I play is a nail-biter, it would take more than 10 hours for the game to get difficult, which is way too long in my book. I can already hear the comments section with people saying, "Oh, it will get tougher later." It's been later. 12 hours is a long time to put into a game and not be challenged by it. I really can't stress this enough. This game would be so much more fun if any of the missions I've played have pushed me to the point where I have pulled out all the stops in my game in order to get through it. Perhaps a level difficulty mode would benefit the game, where the mission's power level remains the same, but the difficulty can be bumped up for better rewards and such. I really don't see why this wouldn't be a good idea. I know there are others like me who want things to be tougher. So that's what I have to say about difficulty. This game really needs to be harder. One very minor gripe I have with the game is that it's pretty counterintuitive when it comes to the menus in between missions. There really is a lot to this game. Skills, research, heroes, survivors, transformations, evolutions, schematics, all the different squads, how power level is gauged, how loot is achieved, what the collection book is. All of these things are very important, and the game does a terrible job of explaining any of them to you. The reason why this is minor is because all it took was some time to click around and read things in order to figure things out. There was certainly a lot of, so that's what that does moments, though, and I'm not sure that's a compliment to the game's design. The missions are all fun and interesting. They are pretty similar, though. Most of them involve protecting something through waves of enemies, which I'm totally fine with. I mean, that's the game. I came into this game knowing it was going to be mostly that, so that's not a complaint or anything. What's more is the areas are really spread out with lots of cool things to explore and to do. I'll also give some props to the procedural generation this game has. It's pretty impressive. There are lots of building types and you can explore all of them, inside and out. I fully expected to have some doors locked in this game, but nope, you can go pretty much everywhere and search and destroy everything. It's wicked good fun. One last thing I'm going to say is, this game is launched. I've only seen some minor graphical glitches in the game. And for a game that's all about procedural generation, I fully expected there to be tons of clipping issues and falling through the floors and all of that nonsense. I've yet to experience any of that. I've seen some occasional texture problems, but very rarely. This is not an early access title. It feels complete. Definitely worth my money in production value. Well, that's about all I have to say on Fortnite. Would be a 100% recommendation, except the difficulty isn't quite right. An implementation of a difficulty select would truly benefit. Perhaps even a friendly fire mode? Perhaps? Maybe? Possibly? My next video will be a first impressions of the soldier class. I've played soldier for the vast majority of my time with the game, and have some things to say about the class, how it's balanced, some quick tips and tricks that I've learned, as well as what type of soldier I feel you'll have the most fun with and which feels redundant. So until then, like, favorite, subscribe, and as always, have a good one.